Number 8, go out of your way to do hard things. For sure, it makes you exceptional. Why? Everyone's just getting more and more comfortable being comfortable. And you know, the irony is that comfort is making you more uncomfortable than you realize. Because after a while, that supposed comfort is making you sick. It's not making you feel good, you know? When you don't have to put any effort to do anything challenging, you become complacent. You're probably becoming less healthy. So I say, go out of your fucking way to do hard things. Everything outside of your comfort zone is an offering to your growth, to your expansion, to your health and well-being. This is The Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Welcome back to The Roxanne Show. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you 15 ways that you can be an exceptional human. So these 15 very specific, whether it's an action, an attribute, behavior, these 15 make you an outstanding human being, meaning you're just showing up to life at a much more extraordinary level than most. And it's not hierarchy. It's not being better than anybody, but it's essentially how you can create more of an exceptional life, right? Because your life is the result of how you're showing up, the relationship that you have with yourself. So if you're operating with exceptional traits, exceptional behaviors, you're going to create an exceptional life. And that is my goal for you. So let's dive into number 1. All right, number 1 on the list is something that I'm always talking about. And I'm sure a lot of my longtime listeners could probably guess number 1. But number 1 is to be authentic. This is a very exceptional trait, and it is not a common one. To be authentic is so much deeper than I think most people realize. You have to really know who you are to authentically show up as who you are. And it's not this, I got it, I know it, and there's a period at the end of the sentence. You know, throughout your life, you're going to continue to learn more about your authentic self. And in the learning process, you're presented with decisions that either ground you in your authentic self or keep a disconnect between you and your authentic self. And it shows up, these decisions, these, kind of forks in the road, they show up in so many different areas of life at so many different points of life. So the more that you meet these moments and you stand in devotion to your authentic self, and the more that you get to know your authentic self, and the more exceptional you are as a human, because again, it's not easy to do this. It's very dangerous in some situations. Dangerous, not meaning your life is on the line, but from a psychological standpoint, it can feel very threatening. A lot of times you're going to have to go against the grain. You're going to have to go against someone maybe that you love who's kind of trying to navigate your path to go left, but in your heart, you feel like going right. And so you're going to go right. And that can cause friction between you and your loved one in that disagreement. Those are just some examples. But the point in sharing those examples is to say that it takes a lot more guts and courage to show up as your authentic self. And this is also what makes this an exceptional quality and trait in an individual, because it's very easy to back down from those moments. So number 1, be your authentic self. Number 2, prioritize health as a lifestyle. So not a moment, not a season, but an actual lifestyle. This means that your behaviors, your habits, your boundaries are all going to be conducive to optimizing your health, to prioritizing your health, to making sure that your health and vitality is strong. And this does make you an exceptional human because, again, it's not common. It's really not common, actually. And those who do prioritize health understand the value of it and how it absolutely affects every single inch of their life in every way, not just out here, but in here too. If you don't feel great, if you don't have energy, if if you're feeling weak, if you don't feel good in your body, first of all, it's pretty straightforward. It just doesn't feel good to not feel good. But it also is very distracting, and it takes you away from living robustly, from doing really important things that are needed to do, that you need to do, or that you want to do. If you don't have the energy to create the business, to do to travel, you name it, energy is life. That's literally what life is, right? It's energy. And so when you prioritize health as a lifestyle, ultimately you are creating more robust energy that has sustainability, right? You're not on this roller coaster of energy. And so it makes you really exceptional because, again, it's not common for people to prioritize. It's so much more common for people to prioritize it's very survival based, this mindset of like work or, it's, money and yeah, totally important. However, if you don't have the energy, you don't have the mindset, you don't have the creativity, the resourcefulness, you can't hear your intuition, like all of those things get affected when you are not living with optimal health, then your business and your money and all that stuff is never going to be as incredible as it could be. So it's really foundational here. 1 + 1 is 2. Health has to be first. It just does. And yeah, it takes effort. It takes discipline. It takes focus. It takes money. It takes a lot of things that straight up, most people don't want to prioritize. And that's why you are an exceptional human when you do. Number 2, you make health a lifestyle. Number 3, be of your word. Do what you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do. Not only does this help you trust yourself more, it certainly helps people trust you more, but it puts more meaning behind your words. You don't just say things and then it just doesn't mean much, right? We want our word. Our word should really matter to us. Our word to an exceptional human being, their word is fucking everything. It's everything. You're not going to just say something to say it. You're not going to talk and then not walk that talk. You're going to be of your word. It is absolutely a key quality of an exceptional human being. It's, integrity is fueling that behavior, that quality, and integrity is everything, in my opinion. So be of your word. And if you're someone who isn't that great with that right now, actually in any of this, so everything that I'm sharing is not to be a call out if you're not somebody who, is hitting the mark on these things. It's just to share a list that I know to be true in any exceptional human that I know. They're embodying these behaviors, these qualities, and they're living from all this list essentially. And, if you're tuned into me and to what I share through any of my channels, then I know living from the greatest expression of you actually really does matter to you. So curiosity, switched on right now. Self-judgment, out the room. And that's always with me, but especially right now. If you are someone who isn't that great with your word, journal about it. Why? What is it that when you say you're going to do something and you don't have follow through, is it across the board that you do that, or is it in a specific area? And if it is in a specific area, then investigate why is it so hard for you to follow through with your word in that area? Just ask yourself these questions. Questions are the most important thing that we can offer ourselves. It's really how you get to know yourself on a very deep and true level. So number 3, be of your word. Number 4 goes hand in hand with number 3. Mean what you say. So have conviction. When you speak, don't be flimsy. And really feel what you're sharing and mean it. Again, this is also going to help build trust with you, trust certainly with others. You're not flimsy with your word. When you say something, you mean it. I know in my world, I won't speak outside of anything that I don't really mean, that isn't really genuine at all. I'm happy to sit and be quiet, But when I speak first of all from my heart. And anytime, there's heart, it's, for me, in my opinion, it's just, there's more conviction in whatever's being said and shared. So, to me, meaning what you say certainly goes with be of your word. This quality, both those qualities really just dictate how much integrity the individual operates with in their life, because their word means something to them. You really want your word to mean something, and you want to speak from a place of truth. You want to speak from a place of confidence, and that is really going to give you this quality of, when you speak, you really mean what you say. There's accountability in that too, and that's also very important. Again, all pointing back to integrity. So number 4, mean what you say. Number 5, one of my favorites, be consistent. This is probably one of, I think, the greatest challenges for most people. And this is why this makes you a very exceptional human being. When you are consistent, you want to be consistent with great habits. You want to be consistent with great behaviors. You want to be consistent in how you show up in your life in a very empowered, healthy way. Because you can be consistent in non-great ways, So we're not talking about that. We're talking about be consistent. Be consistent with your actions. Be consistent with your boundaries. Be consistent with your word. Be consistent, have some routines in place that keep you functioning at very high and optimal levels. There's nothing great about being flimsy. And when you're someone who's inconsistent, you're probably someone who's very, I'm going to say, overly emotional. Like you don't have a great ability to regulate your emotions. So it's really easy for you to just kind of, you're on a high and I feel really great. And so now I'm going to just change my whole life. I'm at the gym, I'm doing the thing and then a week later something happens and you don't feel great. And now you're like, I don't care. I'm just going to sit on the couch and watch my Netflix and whatever, that just doesn't feel good. It feels really fucking good when you're a consistent human being. And it really does cultivate respect, self-respect, and respect from others. I know for sure that individuals who are consistent in their life, that just demonstrate consistency. First of all, here's another pull on the consistency piece. It creates trust. I know I'll just use my best friend, for example. They're so fucking consistent in how they show up that it's really easy for me to just know who they are and to trust who they are. And it's the same with me, right? We've established that trust for a lot of different reasons, but consistency is one. So if you think about the opposite, if there's someone in your life who's kind of there, kind of not, sometimes, oh my gosh, it feels so good. And then it's radio silence. I mean, that's not consistent, and you're not going to feel trust with that person, right? You can't. And so it creates trust. It for sure cultivates more self-respect and respect from others potentially too. I mean, when someone feels that they can trust you, that you're consistent, there's usually going to be respect felt as well towards you. They respect that part of you. If it's an individual who respects consistency, then they're certainly going to respect you being consistent. In my world, I have so much respect for those who are consistent. And again, because it's actually really not easy for most people. It takes discipline. Not always, but maybe in the initial, in some scenarios, it does. If you're starting a new habit or, you're doing something really hard, but you keep getting after it, you keep showing up. I mean, that is badass. And it's that consistency piece that is very respectable. So it really does make you feel better about yourself, as well as, others are likely going to feel that respect towards you and that appreciation about this quality towards you too. Because again, it's not common. So it does make you exceptional. Be consistent. Number 6. I know this might be triggering to a lot of people, and that's okay. Number 6, don't complain. Don't fucking complain. It doesn't feel good. Some people actually do feel good about complaining. And I know in my life, that's nobody I'm going to be close to. Let's make this clear. Complaining and having a moment where you're venting, 2 different things. Emotional dumping, complaining go together. Complaining is this super just negative energy throw up of words and experience where there's literally no breathing room for light to step in. There's nothing. It's just shitty, and there's no gratitude. And look, I am so not someone, for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm not someone who is always positive. I don't even use the word positive. I'm an optimist. And there's a difference actually between positivity and optimism. If something fucking sucks, I'm going to call that out. This sucks. This situation sucks. This situation is hard. It's just complaining leaves it's so problem focused. There's no solution energy in there. And again, sometimes you could be just venting damn, the day was just hard, today, yeah, I got this happen, that happened. And it was just but it's all good. It's just a day. That end piece right there does a lot for everything that just came before it, to anybody who's listening, right? Including yourself. You're ending on a neutralizer or maybe even a positive. And it's just, no one feels good around anybody who complains a lot. And usually people that complain a lot. It's a habit for them. Don't be that person. You want to be exceptional? Don't fucking complain. Use that energy to be more grateful. Because there's always something that we can complain about, each and every one of us. And there's always something that we can be grateful for, each and every one of us. So pick. And which one do you think is going to feel better? Which one do you think is going to do more for you in your life? Probably the fucking latter. So, number 6, don't complain. Number 7, make gratitude a practice. So this is similar to prioritizing health as a lifestyle. Gratitude is, it's everything. It's this abundant energy that is medicinal, that is uplifting, that is magnetic. And when you make it a practice, so it's not just, I'm feeling really good today, so today I'm going to feel grateful and I'm going to call out the grateful things. Cool. Doesn't hurt ever. But when you make it a practice, meaning at some or maybe several points every single day, you make time to express your gratitude, this is very different. This makes you exceptional. And honestly, you're going to live a more exceptional life because the energy of the frequency of gratitude is so fucking magnetic. It does call in more incredible, extraordinary, exceptional experiences to that individual's life. There's not a night where I don't say thank you. And there's other parts to that gratitude piece for me, but I literally can't go to sleep without saying it out loud. Every morning, there's gratitude, whether it's journaling in my meditation every morning, every day before I eat my dinner specifically, every single day, there's a conversation with the universe and my food where I'm expressing my gratitude. I'm really, really, truly grateful. And it's not a means to an end. And I think that's really important because sometimes it's like, oh yeah, be grateful because then you're going to get this. It's like, no, just fucking be grateful. Be grateful. You won the ultimate race called life. Like you made it. You made it to that egg, right? And whatever you're going through in your life, you're going through something hard. My heart truly is compassionate to that. Like I know all about challenge, so trust me, I get it. And we all have different challenges and different things coming at us. But I will tell you, gratitude is the most medicinal, soothing, energetic, neutralizing practice, energy that you can give to yourself. And it absolutely, when it's a practice, an individual who practices gratitude is likely going to be that person that just has, quote, good energy, that kind of energy that people just want to be around all the time. I would bet money. I know in my own life, those are the people who make gratitude consistently a part of their life. It's a practice. So, number 7, make gratitude a practice. Number 8, go out of your way to do hard things. This is so important and it's one of my favorites. For sure, it makes you exceptional. Why? Because we have what Michael Easter, incredible author, speaker, he calls the comfort crisis, one of his books. Great book. Everyone's just getting more and more comfortable being comfortable. And the irony is that comfort is making you more uncomfortable than you realize. You might think it makes you comfortable, but it's not. Because after a while, that supposed comfort is making you sick. It's not making you feel good. When you don't have to put any effort to do anything challenging, you become complacent. You're probably becoming less healthy. Like meaning you're not moving as much, you're not doing any of these, lifestyle habits that are going to promote health. You're just sitting on the couch in your, perfectly temperatured room that you could just adjust by a knob. And, you don't even need to get up to order, like you order your food. You're not in the kitchen cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like this supposed comfort is making things actually more uncomfortable. So I say, go out of your fucking way to do hard things. That is going to keep you more comfortable than you realize. It's going to keep you healthier. It's going to certainly make you more exceptional. It's not common. It's not common for people to want to do these things. It's certainly not common for people to do them irrespective of wanting or not wanting, right? It's really easy to become complacent and to not want to step out of your comfort zone. But everything outside of your comfort zone is an offering to your growth, to your expansion, to your health and well-being. It really is. So make this a habit to go out of your way. And I'm sure so many of you in my community, are doing it. And you could do it in so many different ways. Obviously training is really easy, like an easy go-to for this. Ice baths, learning a new language, public speaking. Whatever it is for you, the list is infinite here, but you have to go out of your way to do hard things to be an exceptional human. Otherwise, you just kind of, you get complacent and you become uninteresting to yourself and certainly to the world. And that's outside of any health, downsides that come from not putting yourselves in challenging positions where your mind and your body have to work to get through the challenge. And that's where you become more resilient. Yeah, my mind's like, we can even go into biology, hormesis, sauna, that's a fucking challenge. And, it's putting stress, healthy stress on the body. We need that stress, and your body fighting that stress is very healthy for you. Right. And that's you stress, not de-stress. So anyhow, I digress. do fucking hard things. Go out of your way to do hard things. Number 9, read books and keep learning. I understand that some people, when it comes to reading, there's auditory reading and or learning rather. My point is to say, keep investing in the books. Every morning I read. I don't even know what life would be without reading. It's a passport to endless knowledge and experiences. And ultimately, so much of it is all turning back to you, because anytime you're learning something out there, you're not just absorbing it, but you're always analyzing, you're reflecting, you're contemplating. And this is important. This is how you get to know more of yourself. You're certainly advancing your knowledge, your wisdom, or if it's, even if it's a fairy tale book, just literally the skill of reading is really, really important. And you want to keep that sharp. You want to learn new things, making that a practice. And this is not only so important for brain health, and that's a scientific fact. Like, to keep the brain healthy, we need to keep challenging it by learning new things. It also just keeps you inspired. It keeps you looking forward to something. Learning more of something is really important, because it goes back to, the whole being stagnant and complacent. That's to me, that individual who's just sitting there watching TV and not learning and not going out of their way to do anything challenging and learn something new, no novelty to the brain. It's an unhealthy life, and it's not going to lead anywhere good. And I don't think that, there might be somebody here listening I just painted their lifestyle. And if that's you, you know what? Hopefully you feel the love that comes from me when I share this information, because again, back at the top of the podcast, I'm creating this for you to bring out more of the exceptional aspects of yourself so that you can live an exceptional life. Because I believe that we all have it within us to do this, but we have to feel worthy of this and be willing to put the work in to do it. So read books, keep learning. It keeps you inspired. It keeps you driven. It keeps you interested, and that keeps you interesting as a human. Exceptional and interesting. Read books, keep learning. Number 10, learn how to be comfortable in your own company. Solitude. This is very different than just being alone. It's because you are with you. I say this often, but there's a we in here. There's a you in you. And the more that you carve out time intentionally to spend just with you, there's so many benefits to this. You want to talk about your intuition. You want to talk about, just being able to hear yourself more, connect with yourself more, understand yourself more, ideas. You become more receptive, because the more you can turn down the volume out there, the more you can turn up the volume in here. And I know a lot of people actually run from that. That's the very reason why they don't do this, don't spend time with themselves. However, you have to think, if that's you, what are you running from? Because you probably need to run towards you in that specific way than run from you. I'm all for running towards myself. Always, like in a challenge, it's like I'm running towards myself. I want to understand what's happening, what's going on, and I don't want to abandon myself, and it's certainly not going to fool myself by running out here pretending like, something's not happening in here. It's like, no. But that's a separate issue. Just spending quiet time with yourself. This for me, I feel like there's an unfair advantage as an artist, because that's where I get the downloads for my writing, for my just my own wisdom that I am then able to come out and share. Podcast after podcast, solo episodes, these are keynotes. There's no script here, Yeah, I got my 15, written out, but it's like, I'm just going, I'm flowing. How do you do this as a constant? I do this as a constant. It's very different when you're, podcasting with the guest. It's about the guest, right? I just have to have a conversation, which I love to have. But to actually have all of these ideas that I give to you week after week after week in these solo episodes, that I got to spend quality time with myself to download the information, especially coming from me. It's very authentic. It's not like, oh, I learned this over here and now I'm going to just kind of, regurgitate it over here. It's none of that happens with me and you. The space that I give myself to hear myself and to receive the ideas come. Ideas come. Not to say that they don't come in a group setting, because they can, absolutely. Absolutely. I love masterminding and, kind of visioneering with my team and friends for certain things. But you have your own ideas that are just designed to come from you, for you. And it's really hard to capture those ideas if the volume out here is always turned up. You got to turn the volume up in here. So it's such a power play to be able to enjoy your own company. It's not common. People don't do it. People usually have to occupy themselves with something, whether it's another person, whether it's, anything out there. It's really not common for an individual to truly love being in their own company and making sure that they create that time for themselves as a constant to have time just with their own company. So that will absolutely advance you as an exceptional human if you can learn to enjoy your own company, carve out time to be with yourself. Number 11, be loyal. Loyal is one of my, it's a core value for me, loyalty. It's an attribute that I so admire, respect, and it's just embedded in who I am. And, my people know that because I'm consistent as fuck with my loyalty. And, it's something that you, I think first it comes from giving it, like, are you loyal with yourself? Everything to me, it's just always about self. And if you could be loyal to yourself, now this can be interesting because you might think like, well, if you're loyal to you, are you loyal to others? Like, it's kind of like there's conflict, right? And maybe at times there can be conflict. However, loyalty to yourself, how I frame this is your authentic self. You are devoted to your authentic self. You are not going to betray your authentic self. When you authentically feel you need to do this, you want to do this, you don't want to do this, you don't want to say this, whatever, all that stuff, you're loyal to that. And when you have the ability to show up for yourself that way, it carries over out here. So my ability to be so loyal to myself plays into how loyal I am to my relationships. My ability to how loyal I am to myself, to be loyal to myself, plays into how loyal I am to my relationships. So again, so much in here is like respect and integrity. And loyalty is something that I don't know if it's that common, to be honest. I think there's a lot of, I said this word already so many times, but there's a lot of flimsiness out there, and for lots of different reasons, when people are not that loyal, it's because, I think you have to value loyalty. And for me, my upbringing, there's something about my upbringing that really, really affected me when it comes to loyalty. And I think because there's such a lack of loyalty and it's so common and I've seen it throughout my life in various ways that, and none of those experiences when I've witnessed it, I don't relate to it. I relate to the individual who's rock solid with their people, with themselves. Like they have that consistency and their dedication to that relationship with another and also to themselves. So it's really a beautiful, powerful, regal. It's fucking regal. I mean, we hear loyalty. I don't know about you, but I think of a lion. Why? Why do we think of a lion? Why has that been branded so much? Because it's fierce. It's badass. It's not common. So be loyal. Number 12, be a person of integrity. Integrity, the whole of your being. Integrity is so much comes with this attribute. Respect, honor, trust, loyalty. It houses so many other epic qualities. Accountability, discipline. It's massive. So when you become a person of integrity, you also start to, or you already are, operating with these other really important qualities that make you an exceptional human being. Integrity, when you're a person with strong integrity, it's moving throughout your whole life. Like, it doesn't just show up in one area and not the other, because it's who you are. You are a person of integrity. So you're not just, holding more integrity in this particular, like, let's just say it's health, or your business, right? No, it's all across the board. Because when you are truly someone with integrity, strong levels of integrity, your consciousness doesn't allow it to be compartmentalized. It's just how you fucking move. You move with integrity. You take ownership. Your word means something. Accountability. I mean, all of that. You're not cheating on yourself ever. I think of integrity. I've said this so many times on the podcast. It's really funny, but you're vacuuming the house, or whatever, the floor, and nobody's there. So you don't have to move the furniture, but you're there. You can see it. Are you going to just go around, and meanwhile there's dust and you see it, but you're like, you're too lazy to move the chair? Move the fucking chair. Person with integrity is going to move the chair. And it's such a funny example. And I know a lot, that's probably a call out to a lot of people. And look, I don't always want to move the damn chair, but it's a habit for me. My integrity it's a habit. And because that matters to me, like me witnessing me, my accountability, like, I'm going to move the damn chair just for my own satisfaction, to know that I didn't cheat on myself. And I know that, again, it's a silly example, but it does relate to, being a person of integrity, because if I'm going to do something, I'm going to show up and I'm going to fucking do it, or I'm not going to do it at all. I don't want to do it half-assed. That's integrity. You're going to show up, you show up, all of you, right? So there's, again, integrity houses so many other incredible qualities, all that make you an exceptional human. So be a person of integrity and continue to nurture that quality. It will only take you to exceptional places and it's really so essential to creating a life of mastery. 13, be less judgmental and more curious. Rewind a couple minutes ago where I said self-judgment. And not just in this regard, I'm not just talking about self-judgment, for sure self-judgment, but judgmental to others too. There's so much judgment out there. When I see someone who's very judgmental, I just understand that their level of consciousness is it's not as, they haven't expanded yet, And I'm just understanding, like, they're showing me where they are on a consciousness level. An individual who has an expanded consciousness, is highly conscious, is less judgmental. It happens, right? The more that your consciousness expands, truly expands, you're not claiming to be a spiritual person, but you're very judgmental, and kind of have, a spiritual snobby attitude, because there is that, but when you're truly, truly someone that is less judgmental, you are going to be more empathetic and you are going to lead with more curiosity. Like it's more interesting to you. You're like, wow, that's interesting. Before concluding with a judgment, oh, that person's like that. You're like, wow, I wonder why that person is that way or what made that person do that kind of thing or whatever. It's so different, just the lens, the attitude, the perspective. And it's so much more enriching to function that way, to be less judgmental and to be more curious. It absolutely makes you more exceptional because there's just a shit ton of judgment out there. People judging, oh, she said fuck or this, that, please. All of that to me is just go away. I'm not saying there isn't a place for judgment. Don't cross the street. There's a car coming. But when you're gearing at other people and you're coming from this place that there's like a better than energy in it, we certainly can have judgment towards people. That person is dangerous. I'm going to stay away. So again, it's not to say that there isn't a place for judgment, but I am saying for the most part, not in that kind of example, but a lot of times, and society feeds it. You create these gossipy shows, these real, I don't want to name the shows, but, what is that doing? It's just making you very judgmental and less curious. And the person who is more curious is so much more fucking interesting and so much more, there's just a healthier energy that they're functioning with. So be less judgmental, be more curious. Number 14. Mind your business, don't gossip. Mind your business, don't gossip. To say it again because it's so important. Gossip energy is so gross. And just being anybody who has space to be in somebody else's lives, like not minding their own business, is really needs to check back in with their life. Because anybody who is living exceptionally, who is living with integrity, who is really showing up to their life with purpose, we're not interested. I have no space to be minding anybody else's business but my own. Also, it's almost judgmental too. Like I don't want to be in anyone else's business and space. I mean, unless you're somebody important to me in my life, then yes, I am, but that's different. Gossip energy, right? I'm putting these two together. You're someone who doesn't mind your business and you're gossiping about others. Fuck that. That is gross. I mean, what is that? Low level consciousness, low level behavior, far from being exceptional. It's not great. It doesn't feel great I'm sure to the person too. But again, these kind of qualities, I call it a quality, but these kind of behaviors are really a lot of times they're habits and they're coming from an individual who in some or in many ways is having issues with their own self and certainly their own life. So just pay attention, and the gossip thing it's an intention, right? You can share something. Oh, my girl, she just went through a really hard time and, whatever. That's not gossiping, right? Gossip has everything to do with the intention at which you are sharing that information. Oh, did you know that? And she said it. Like even the tone, I can't deal with it. You want to be fucking exceptional, mind your business, and don't gossip. Straight up. The last one, number 15. You want to be exceptional? I have to throw this in here. Journal. Marcus Aurelius, Albert Einstein, Bruce Lee, Benjamin Franklin, Anais Nin. I mean, the list goes on and on. How many other individuals that are so exceptional do I need to name that utilized a journal? So if you don't want to journal, however you want to journal, just fucking journal. Just get into conversation with yourself. That's what the journal is there for. You want to write out your goals as a constant. You want to do your gratitude. You want to record the day, whatever. Why it's important, why I have to place it in here is because, number one, it helps you to become a better thinker. The better you can put your thoughts on paper, you're thinking throughly. And it doesn't have to be perfect. What is that anyways? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know why I said that, but it just doesn't need to be anything that means anything to anybody else but you. But you sifting through your thoughts makes you a better thinker. And journaling, when you're writing, you have to kind of move through your thought process in a way where you're able to extract them in a more organized fashion and put them on paper. And that's a skill. But outside of that, just again, it's this coming to know who you authentically are. You're not going to lie in your journal. Maybe some people do, I don't know, but you're not going to do that. So when you're sitting in an honest conversation with yourself for 3 minutes even in the day, but that becomes a practice, you just know who you are more. And that knowing who you are translates in a lot of positive ways out here into your life. So it absolutely had to live on this list. Number 15, you want to be an exceptional human or have exceptional qualities, create an exceptional life, just put some journaling in there. And it definitely makes a big difference. So that is my short list of 15 exceptional qualities that all of us can own and operate with to be an exceptional human, to create an exceptional life. I really hope something or several of these points in here struck a chord with you, maybe made you feel really good about where you're at with yourself and your life, maybe opened your mind to some areas that could afford, the investment of energy and to making these more consistent in your life. Maybe it was, you didn't even think about that as a quality, but now you are, and now you want to kind of, move in that direction, adopt this quality and, make it part of your life. So everything I shared, again, it's always with love, but I'm your favorite loving kick in the ass. It's the best way for me to put it. I'm here to hold all of us accountable to be the greatest expressions of ourselves. And that looks different with everybody, but each and every one of us has exceptional qualities and is an exceptional human. But it is up to us to continuously rise to live into that exceptional aspect of our being, especially in today's society. You gotta be real and understand that a lot of things are set up to take the exceptional aspects of ourselves away, like to tone it down, to make us more complacent, compliant, all that stuff. So I hope that this episode did something really powerful for you. Please let me know. DM me, Instagram, Roxy Look. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe. That really helps the channel grow. Let me know in the comments if this struck a chord with you in some way, many ways perhaps. And if you have not already given this podcast a 5-star rating or review, it would mean the world to me and my team if you just took a quick moment to go into the show notes, click on the link where it says leave a 5-star rating or review, put your energy in there, and thank you in advance to everyone who will take the time to do that. I'll see you in the next one. Queen, this is your call to greatness. If you are ready, and I mean truly ready, to shift anything in your outer experience, your outer reality, your finances, your health, your relationship, anything career related, anything spiritual, any shift that you want to make that has to do with your reality has to first start with shifting who you are, your self-identity. My Future Self digital course is your supportive blueprint that helps you achieve this. the inner shapes the outer. So when you get crystal clear on your core beliefs, your core values, your core desires, your high heart goals, when you learn how to rewrite parts of your past that maybe don't feel so great and instead leverage those experiences to be fuel for you to expand and to grow, this is how you start to change the game behind the game of life, which all starts and ends with you. I've designed this course from my heart, soul, and experience to be a femininely fierce experience for you to uncover and connect with your most authentic self. And as a Future Self student, you get 3 months free membership access to Queendom. This is where we really get to connect. Queendom is such a rad, sacred, empowered space where every month you get a live Q&A call with me so we can connect and troubleshoot any area of your life that you would like, or just get some encouragement from me as well as the other queens in the community. This is a really sacred space, and I will see you in Queendom.